Good morning, fam. As usual, how's everybody doing this morning? I hope we're up to a great start. I know I am this morning. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what's going on this morning. So we did have PPI and PPI month over month come out this morning, and it was softer than they anticipated. So what is that, you say? Well, PPI is right here. Core PPI came in at 0.3%. Their forecast was 0.2% core PPI month over month, and then it was 0%, and their actual was lower than anticipated, guys. So prices of consumer products, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all what this means here. So it says it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When producers charge more for goods and services, the higher costs are usually passed on to the customer. So it looks like we had a softer increase than anticipated month over month, core PPI month over month, and then they anticipated it to be at least a 0.2% increase in products, and it was a softer increase than anticipated. I was watching Bloomberg this morning, and they were saying it was attributed to the price of coffee. Coffee is what really set the benchmark for these. Coffee, I think, was the catalyst that rose this just by like 0.1%. So guys, we're buying coffee out there. We're paying a little bit more for ground coffee than usual. But let's see what happens in these markets. So we are having a bit of a rally this morning. As we can see, the chop yesterday is what we were trading. It was just real nasty yesterday, but we managed to get some trades out of it. A loss and then a gain. So we were overall up, made them gains back and then some. And then looks like today we are getting somewhat of a rally in anticipation for tomorrow. Because tomorrow we have CPI. You know, everybody loves CPI, that big news event. So I may or may not be trading tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, CPI month over month, core CPI month over month, and then CPI year over year will drop tomorrow. So we'll see what that says. They usually say that PPI is sort of a catalyst when it comes to core CPI. Like, you can kind of guesstimate what's going to happen based off of what PPI did. But, you know, guys, these markets are crazy. So that does remain to be seen right now. But we are getting a rally right now in the markets, and it looks like it is pushing higher. If y'all watched all my old videos, we know we were looking at that 5,500 mark, which it looks like the market wants to make all of its gains back that it lost on that red Monday, which was last Monday. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll, of course, be looking for opportunity. I have somewhat of a long bias this morning, but that does, of course, as always, guys, that remains to be seen, you know, because these markets do switch up on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? So we could be doing a huge run, and then it could hit a ton of iceberg sell orders, and then bam, you know, they just come down with it. As you can see, as far as right now goes, this candle was from 7 to 8. This candle right here is flat up, so that means the market is flat up right now. So is this candle. This market is flat up right now, so that means we have a ton of buying pressure this morning. But it is too early to trade. It is 8:33 my time. I'm not gonna hop into these markets yet, as it was yesterday. I'm looking for the most optimal opportunity that I can possibly get. And so if we're looking long today, which it's looking like it, but we of course have sell orders everywhere, you know, so that does remain to be seen. I might just go ahead and wait for a retracement to come back down. So I might wait for some kind of a retracement to come back. Maybe we'll get some volume into that retracement, and then we can go ahead and take a trade. If you look at the overnights right here, you see this looks like it would have been this trade in particularly right here. This looks like this would have been an entry, right? But what are we seeing here? We got price over the VWAP, price over the moving average, and then this candle close, which would look like an optimal entry. And then what? We get this yellow bar where volume just dropped off. So you got to be careful, guys. You can see when there's not a lot of volume in the markets, those trades don't tend to hold as much, as much volume. So they may not go where you anticipate them to. But it looks like in the earlier overnight sessions, we got some good movement. But let's see what happens today, guys. Let's see if we hop into any trades. We may or may not. We are on an uptrend on both screens right now. The VWAP on this side is pointing up, so that means there is volume with this move right here. So let's see what happens. I mainly pay attention to the VWAP on this side because it reads raw price action. Renko charts have a different effect on indicators. So it reads, indicators read out way differently on Renko charts than they do on any other chart. So I kind of use the price action from the Heikin-Ashi chart because it is more of a raw price action. And then of course I use Renkos to manage my trades. Y'all see every single video, it's the same way. All my trades are placed on Renko charts, and most of my analysis is done on the Heikin-Ashi candles, since it's more raw price data. But that's how we trade, guys. So let's see what happens this morning. It's 8:36. It's way too early to trade. Y'all know I don't trade this early. So let's see what happens, guys, and stay tuned for the rest. And as always, if you're going to watch the full time lapse, make sure you pay attention to the clock down here, because that way, if you are new to trading, or if you've never traded before, or even if you are a trader, you can see what price does on account of time. Now, these candles over here are hourly. So these are hourly Heikin-Ashi candles, and these are 20-point Renko bars. So if you're going to watch the time frame, or if you're going to watch the time lapse, watch it from this area and this area, and then just look at where price is given the time. But yeah, guys, so if you're going to go ahead and just watch time lapse, check it out, and we'll see what happens, guys. And also too, on my account, I think I'm only now about $700 away from passing my 50K combine. So let's see what happens, guys. See if we take any trades today. fam, that was the end of that trade. If you're wondering why I closed that trade out early at $825, I needed like $778 to pass the challenge, I believe. So, I mean, it would have hit my take profit anyway, but yeah, so we closed that trade out. So I believe I passed the combine. So we'll see what happens if we get that email that we passed it. So yeah, guys, that's trading in a nutshell. A lot of patience. These highs right here, this I was looking at this 54.23 was being a pain in the ass. The way I see it is that it's gonna see 54.30 by the end of the day, or at least close to 54.30 by the end of the day. As you can see right here at 5400, it had already broke into 5400, came down to retest it, and it looks like price wants to see 54.30 by the end of the day is what I'm anticipating. I think that's where price is going to go. If you're wondering why I did not get in on any of these trades, this was just gross. So you see this is coming down here. You would have been like, oh, enter here, but look at this next candle. It shoots up, comes down, shoots up, comes down, shoots up, comes down, shoots up. It was just a whole lot of chop, which means that sellers were having a very, very hard time taking this market down, and it constantly kept getting absorbed by buyers, and then buyers finally took over right here. When this volume bar went over is when I entered my trade, and yeah, that's when we got in, guys. And yeah, so 820, we closed the day out with $825. That should put me up to past the challenge. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. According to my analytics, I only needed like $780 more to pass or something like that. So we'll see what happens, guys. And that's trading in a nutshell. It's just lots of patience. Look for your optimal entry, and almost right here, this wick right here, this little wick almost touched me out, but we were already 2 points in profit. So we ended up squeezing out 8.25 points out of ES today, which is good. That's a good day for me. So let's see what happens. And if we pass the combine, of course, I'll go ahead and post that we passed it and all that stuff. So that remains to be seen, guys. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Real quick before we hop off, guys, I just want to show y'all my overall analytics for this entire process. I started the account on July 1st, 2024. Looks like I've been actually having about 19 trading days completed, which would be yesterday, not including today. So today would be 20 trading days. That doesn't include any off time or anything like that. So y'all can see the path to discovery. I want to show y'all what the path to discovery looks like, and this is what I mean by discovery, when I was finally discovering something that worked good for me. So as you can see, we start off here with the 50K balance, and we're taking small trades here and there. So pretty much throughout this whole time, I was break even. Just above break even, guys. So this is what trading looks like. I was about break even for a good while, and then I was testing out something, and of course it netted me a loss here, and just above losing the account. Maximum balance, maximum loss limit. So I almost lost the account. I didn't pass this threshold. Now that threshold, once you pass that threshold, that means you've lost the account. I was on the dollar to losing that account. And then I started deploying the strategy that I use now. The strategy that I'm using right now to pass this challenge, and look at this recovery. You know, this recovery right here, I was so close. And this is what progression looks like over time, guys. Now, when you have what I call like a yield curve, or you have, you know, your trade curve, this is what you want your curve to look like: slow and steady. We did have a big loss day here, which was only a $500 loss, which in contrast is not big. It's not a big loss, you know. So when we came back, our first comeback trade was $500, and then another $800, and then we had $41, which was like a break-even day, and then another $600, and we lost $500, and then we won $500, then we won $900. So this is what it looks like, guys. This is overall, this is what trading looks like. Now, my overview, this is, so the overview, all of this overview includes all of this break even. It's just everything all together. So the overview overall was like a 1.1 to 1. I had a 69% win ratio. Overall, my largest losing trade was $666.86, and my largest winner was $958.14. So as you can see, I was just above these two with a 69% win rate overall. So the 69% win rate includes this. I was trading Japanese yen futures, which is what I had about a 67% win rate with. So trading Japanese yen futures was okay, which is a lot of this break-even stuff. And then I started doing the E-mini NAS 100, and I had about a 45% win rate, which is what caused my decline. And then I decided to just zone in and focus on one of the most liquid of the markets, and that's the E-mini S&P 500. And so when I started zoning in on the E-mini S&P 500, and I started actually developing a strategy to go along with it, as you can see, guys, I had an 87% win rate with the E-mini S&P when I deployed the strategy that I started using. So on NASDAQ, my average trade profitability was like $4 per trade. When I traded Japanese yen futures, I was negative $27.24 in my average profitability. And when I started trading the E-mini S&P, my average profitability per trade was about $138.25. So as you can see, I had an 87% win rate, and I started trading at the end of July. So I started trading the strategy that I deployed now at the end of July. So this is July 1st. So this would have been, let's see, I started trading this at July 22nd. So let's see, bam, right here. So when I took my last loss, and then I decided to zero in and focus on a strategy that I wanted to use, and I decided to focus on one market and one market only, and one of the most liquid, and that's the S&P 500. So bam, right here, the 22nd is when I took my first trade. It's this trade right here. And then over time, guys, you can see the gains started to just add up and add up and add up. So as of right now, my account balance is sitting at about $52,223.18 as of the 12th. So as of yesterday. So today should put us in the green. It should put us at the profit target to actually pass the combine. So we'll see if we get that email and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, this is trading in a nutshell. If you are a break-even trader, you're doing better than most traders are. Okay, let me tell you that. If you're a break-even trader, then you're doing better than most traders. But when your yield curve starts to have some gain on it, that's when you know you're making slow progression towards where you want to be. So this is what it looks like, guys. Overall, just about 20 trading days is what it took me to get here, and not even 20 trading days. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trading days overall when I started deploying the strategies that I'm using now. So right now we're at about an 87% win rate. Since I've started trading the strategy that I'm using, I actually think I didn't get to post this trade, so I think my trade started either from here or here. One of these two, I think the 23rd or 24th. So from the time I deployed this strategy, y'all are going to be able to see what it looks like in real time. So just make sure you pay attention to that stuff, guys. And as always, I really appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all on the next one.